everybody has their own interpretation of the book. And so if you try to make a movie of just the book, you run the risk of alienating everybody because everybody's got a different way they imagine it. But her way, this little girl's way of imagining it, becomes her own. And so we as fans of the book, or people that don't know the book, will appreciate what she creates in her mind. And that was a way that I felt we could protect the book. So I'm not saying this is the book, this is her version of the book. And that was a really important, I think, step in the process of trying to figure out how to translate the ideas of the book to the screen. I wanted to create a character that would bring us into the story, bring us into the world, and help us understand that this book lives in the imagination of the reader. So I wanted to create a character that would be engaging and interesting, and when I started to look at the math of all the possibilities, a little girl was a perfect opposite to the little prince, especially if she's a grown-up. Yes. So you have the spirit of grown-up in the little girl, and you have the spirit of childhood in the little prince. And I think it's something that gives a great storytelling opportunity. When I try to make a movie, you try to just tell the best story, right? And you know, the minute you have to think of the audience, you have to think of who you're telling a story for. But if you try to tell a story for everybody, you will tell a story for nobody. So my hope is that people will give the movie a chance. I think teenagers are a very hard market to capture, and sometimes movies that are made solely for a teenage audience don't capture any other aspect of the audience, and sometimes you fail capturing the teenage audience. So my hope is that this will surprise people and will start to connect. They're so familiar, they're so iconic, and there's such a life and a spirit. What we tried to do was create our own artistic interpretation. I saw an image early on that had been drawn by Mobius of The Little Prince. Yes. And it was his style, it was his universe, but it was The Little Prince. Yes. And the lesson was an artist using their own style is an interpretation, it's a tribute, and you appreciate it. I want to get to a point where people aren't surprised at how many different kinds of animated films there are. To me, it's just a medium. It's not a genre, it's a medium. And I hope there are as many different types of animated films made as there are live action. We sat down also at one point and we watched different interpretations that had been previously done. And I won't say which one, but he and I looked at a interpretation of The Little Prince. And when it was finished, he got up and walked across the room and said, "You're not going to make it like that, are you?" So I knew, yeah, that was the best advice I had, because it was like, okay, something's wrong, and we really wanted to find a way to do it justice.
O Pequeno Príncipe.
Esse é só o começo da história.